Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling a story of what happened to us this weekend. Don't forget to subscribe and like. So this weekend on Saturday night, we were all at my in-laws house. My husband's family from out of town had came down to visit for the weekend, and on Saturday night, it was kind of like, I think it was like 8:30. Isaiah was playing in the kitchen and we were just there talking, and all of a sudden he slips and falls. And when he fell, on his way down, he hit the edge of a wooden chair. I'm not sure if he hit where you sit, or if he hit the leg of the wooden chair, and he was just laying on the ground crying when he landed. And I picked him up and I held him. I usually hold them and just try to calm him down a little before I actually check, but the way he was crying was telling me that it really hurt and that he was in pain. So I put him I sat him down on the counter and I kind of held him by his chin, and I was like, let me see where you got hurt, as he was crying. Obviously he wasn't really gonna let me check him. So then he was trying to lean on me, and when he went to lay on my shoulder, I seen that his ear, his upper ear, was cut, sliced. And the moment I seen it, the blood was just starting to come out. And when it comes to blood, I'm ugh, especially on my kids. And if there's other people there, I feel I can't handle it. Someone else will have to handle it. So the moment that I seen it coming out, I just panicked silently because I had him in my arms. And then my mother-in-law was like, is he okay? Is he okay? Asking me if he was okay. And then as she was asking me, because I was oh my gosh, my father-in-law got up and he was like, what happened? Is he okay? And I was like, help me. And I just kind of handed him over to my father-in-law, because Aldo wasn't there at the moment. He was on his way home. So I just handed him to my father-in-law. I was like, help me. So as they reacted to grab paper and cover him and try to stop the bleeding to see, I just legit stood by the microwave by their door, and I was just started just crying. And they were cleaning him and asking exactly what happened, because they hadn't seen. And as we're cleaning him and everyone's in the kitchen, Aldo walks in and he's like, what happened? Because he obviously seen me crying, and he's seen Isaiah, and he was like, oh my gosh, we need to go to the hospital now, because he turned into panic mode. So then once he calmed down a little, we both looked at it, and he was like, should we not go? Do you think he'll need stitches? Or what do you think? Because we were kind of undecisive, because we couldn't really see the cut anymore, because the blood was starting to dry up. So then we finally were you know what, we're just gonna go. And if he doesn't need stitches, if he doesn't need it to be glued together, then so be it. At least we got it checked out. And we got to the hospital and we checked in, and Isaiah, once we were waiting in the waiting room, Isaiah was just running around the hospital waiting room, and Aldo and I were running behind him. We were just sit, Isaiah, we just want you to sit, we don't want you to get hurt anymore. And at one point I had gone to the washroom, and I come out and Aldo's just and shaking his head, and I was like, what happened? He's like, he just bumped his ear on the chair and he didn't even cry. I was like, oh, just him telling me, my body just got goosebumps, and I was feeling the pain for him. And once we got into the room, they obviously asked what happened 5 times, and So the nurse came in and told us that she didn't know if they were gonna glue it or if they were gonna put stitches, but she was like, this does need stitches or needs to be glued. So we were like, okay, and Aldo and I were like happy that we actually like decided to take him in. So once the doctor came in, he was like, and saw it, he literally was just in and out and like serious. He asked what happened, and then he looked at it and he was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna need stitches. And when he said stitches, my heart just like dropped, because I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna hurt him even more than what he's already hurt. And the nurse came in and like numbed it, and she's like, it's gonna take like half an hour, make sure he doesn't touch it. I was like, okay, I'll make sure he doesn't touch it. But you know, Isaiah's pretty good, because he didn't touch it. Like, he would like go for it and we would like distract him like twice. He tried to go for it and then he was done, and then he was on our phones, he was watching like TV at the hospital, and we were trying to like message all like our family members, because they were messaging us to make sure like what was like, to make sure he was okay, and to see like what was going on and if he needed stitches and if we were good. And of course my phone and Aldo's phone were like at 3%, 10%, and we were just like trying to answer them. And then Isaiah was on our phone, so we were just gonna be like, our phone was gonna die eventually. And the last message I could get out to them was like, I texted my mother-in-law and I was like, please pray for Isaiah, like he's about to get the stitches right now. And my phone died, but I think I was able to send it. I can't remember now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, when the doctor got there, and I think there was a student learning how to like stitch up, they got in there and they were like, we're gonna wrap him up like a burrito so that he doesn't touch it or like play with it while we're stitching him up. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And so they wrapped him as a burrito, but they didn't put like his arms down. They kind of just left his arms like however he had them. So his hand was like sticking out at one point. And then the student nurse doctor was like, what if we like wrap him with like the pillowcase, like his arms, like I think she said like on his back or something. And then when she said that, I turned into like panic mode. I was like, he's gonna start freaking out if you're like gonna like tie him like that, you know? And I just kind of like stayed back and like didn't really say anything, but like stared. And I was like, once they like started doing it, I'll just be like, you know, he's not gonna stay still like that. But as like the girl went to get like the pillowcase or whatever she was grabbing, the doctor, another doctor walked in. He's like, what are you guys doing? And then she was like, oh, we're gonna try to like put his arms. And he was like, I know. He was like, look. And he like uncovered Isaiah and just put his arms to the side and just wrapped him again with the burrito with his arms like to the side. So Isaiah was like, chill. I was like, oh, thank God. And the nurse or the doctor was like putting like the stuff together, and the other doctor told Aldo to hold him, Isaiah, like hold him by his hips laying down on the bed. And they started like stitching him, and I was like, oh, he's gonna like scream. So I think my head was just like going and going, that I just started like crying even like before they started like stitching him. But I was just like in the back, like kind of like my head to the side, like not to like look. Good thing Aldo was like covering me, kind of like my view. And I was just like, and then she's like, okay, here we go. And I was like, oh, like for the love of God, why'd you say that? So there I am, like trying to like calm myself down, be calm, in case like I had to like jump in and like try to calm him down. And Isaiah did not cry at all. They started stitching him, and Aldo said that like when it would hurt him a little, he would just like take deep breaths, that he would be like, and then once she was done, like he would stop. And he stayed still the entire time. And then so they had done the one stitch, because at the beginning they said he only needed like one stitch to like put his ear together. But then once they were like kind of done and like looking, she was like, I think he's gonna need another stitch. So I was like, oh my goodness. So once again, they did like the same process and added the other stitch to his ear. And then they asked us, the doctor looking at me, but asking both of us, she was like, would you guys be willing to take out the stitch by yourself at home if I show you guys how and send you home with a kit? And I kind of like, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'll do it. So thank God for him, because I would not be able to do it. And they taught him how to do it. So in 10 days, we'll be able to take out his stitch. Isaiah is not bothered by his ear at all. That night I gave him Motrin because I didn't know like if he was gonna be in pain later. Like I just didn't want him to be like suffering like during nighttime. So I gave him a little bit of Motrin and he slept the entire night until the next day, like 10:15, 10:30. He has been fine. He's been playing. He has not touched it, thank God. I did bathe him yesterday, and when I was like trying to like clean his ear, because he does have like dry blood in like inside his ear, and I was like trying to like clean that, he did kind of like, you know, like move a little. So I stopped. I was like, you know what, whatever, that blood will eventually like come out. So I didn't like try to like clean it anymore. And we've just been applying this thing that the doctor gave us. But he's fine, and he's acting like nothing happened. He is jumping, running, climbing onto the chairs. And he did hit it yesterday on the table, and he kind of just like, and then continued playing. So I was like, wow, this kid is strong. So, but it wasn't like too bad. It could have been worse. So we're glad it was, you know, a little cut, but still I wish I could protect my kids from getting hurt. But, you know, it's kind of hard, and then like mom guilt comes in, and you know, but it's okay. He's doing great. Yesterday, like it was clean, but it still had like dry blood on it. Sunday it was just, you couldn't really tell. Monday it had like that blood still. So yeah, yesterday was the first time like you could actually like see like how like when it's how clean it is, and you can see exactly like where they stitched him up. So yeah, he's doing good. I'll show you guys him right now so you guys can see his ear. But and I inserted some pictures throughout the video as well so that you guys could see. So this is Isaiah. And that's his ear. Yeah, that's his first trip to the ER and first major ouchie that he's gotten. And I hope that's the last one, but I know it's not, because he's a boy and he is very, very, very active and rarely stays still. So I know there's gonna be more, hopefully no more stitches, but I know there's gonna be bumps and bruises and cuts. But yeah, I just wanted to share that moment that we had with him and his first trip to the ER. So please don't forget to subscribe and like our video so you guys can get notifications when we post a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye.